Forests all over India are under threat, and Nagaland in the northeast is no exception. We are in old Jalukie, close to the valley called the Rice Bowl of Nagaland. These verdant rice fields nourish a large community. However, rice is a water-intensive crop, and with the decimation of forests, the stores of water are dwindling, threatening the very lifeline of the area. Jhum farming, or slash and burn cultivation, where patches of forests are cut and burnt before cultivation, is prevalent here. With no time to regenerate and more forest going under the axe, this area is deeply threatened. However, there is one exception. In Old Jalukie, adjoining the natural water catchment area, is one stretch of natural forest that still exists. The lone patch in an area laid bare by agriculture and settlements. These 308 hectares of village forest are located within the territorial jurisdiction of Old Jalukie village. This subtropical rainforest is rich in biodiversity, has a mild climate, regular seasonal rains, and fertile soil. With a vegetal cover of 80 to 90%, this forest is crucial to the catchment area and needs to be protected. It was for precisely this reason that the Joint Forest Management Committee of Old Jalukie village was started in 1986.
Joint Forest Management ami bam prasayo lesum sayo ken nangbe ami village in dui de gai na ami sing nan chu na maleng de pe ka lo mayo gai lai ba ji na ami Joint Forest ke te ra de ami pong le.
The challenges towards making this conservation effort a success were many. It was vital to protect this lone stretch of forest, and it could only be possible with the full participation of the local community. The people here are traditional hunters. Hunting forms a key component of the social and economic fabric of the local community. Convincing people to stop hunting was thus an enormous task.
जानवर तो हम लोग मरता है, बहुत मरता है. कितना मरेगा इतना इतना मिलेगा, अपना इतना मिलता है. लेकिन आजकल तो अपना काउंसिल बंद है, इसलिए अंतर बंद हो गया.
के रुमे ना हमने मेरे ना काम में दे ना कौन ना काम में दोंगे दे हमने इंटरेस्ट ला चले दे हमने बे नाइ मिट्टी में दे जाए पिए जो कि तो दोबना से हो कौन ना का दे ना मेरे ना का ले दे आई दे हमने जाएगा दे ngô xiao na हमने दे कौन ना काम हो दे लेने
这里的猪呢，在国门那那更好了呢，那讲那人更买下来，的那就往更好嘛，这个方面呢，做那这路kia嘛，讲那的kia的个涨往不一样面的嘞，就不kia呢，做个涨我面的嘞。
Jhum cultivation, also a major source of livelihood, had to be stopped.
After the conservation strategies have been laid out and the demarcation has been done, the Jhum fields were shifted outside the conservation areas.
The measures undertaken with the full participation of the community were allocation of funds by village council for management of village forests, community voluntary participation during the dry season for fire line cutting. A complete ban on logging and tree felling was implemented. Local people have benefited from daily wages and monthly allowances provided as part of regeneration and conservation activities by the Forest Department. Daily wages are paid for forestry activities like planting, fire line cutting, weeding, etc.
A colonia de tipo namagadang po wang todo nuite te kira so in colonile de que tinzoda na pe puide ni den polo no todo pe puide pe ni lang tai lu de le che pe na zola le de che pe mek ti dong pe mek tan kang mare suo ai da agu fore arame fore sa kai lu bida. Pe lungi bete lunga lo pe chai mena pe agu forest ka pe leu ke lunga pe lunga lo de release te la le.
After the declaration of our community biodiversity reserve area, we maintain one reintroduction register. And after that, we reintroduced 7 animals to our reservation area.
The second strategy is to reduce the pressure on forest, especially firewood demand and NTFP collection. So in this case, the villagers have provided LPG connection to all the households. With the provision of LPG, the consumption of firewood was drastically reduced. Another strategy is livelihood. The villagers have ventured into goatery, piggery, kitchen garden, and the villagers were allowed free access to the collection of vegetables and minor forest produce in the forest.
With a combination of incentives and awareness building exercises, the local community was persuaded to fully participate and contribute to the conservation of the old Jalukie village forest. Forest guards regularly patrol the area and enforce strict penalties on those who flout the rules. A few species of cane that were not seen for a long time have returned. Juglans regia or the walnut tree are seen in large number here than in other areas. Medicinal plants like Paris polyphylla and Taxus baccata have been planted to increase their numbers. Orchids too have made a comeback, along with creepers, making this a natural, vibrant ecosystem once again. The dedicated patrolling by local forest guards and volunteers has brought down the numbers of hunting and poaching offences in the recent past. The local community is still very dependent on the forest for their needs and livelihood. The mineral salt that I used here, for example, comes from a natural spring that is jointly owned by Old Jalukie and Peliki village. The salt here is considered medicinal in nature. Salt production requires a large quantity of firewood that comes from the forests. The raw water is saline and fed into the boiling bowls placed upon fire furnace, containing 4 to 5 hearths. The end product is sold in local markets as kaitei for as much as rupees 150 to 200 per bottle.
Ma pa da kung da ma da ma ma chi dung le da na ya dung le da ma dung le la me le da ku ngong ngong chiu la na ani chi dung le da pu pi re nge chu te ye bam le na te lu na dung le da ani sin na ta wa ani pu ke go me da ga ni tao na dung kya dung da ni zo le ya pu wa an zo ni ma te wa le in chu le de so ni te le ba na le.
At the old Jalukie market, as much as 70% of the produce, be it fruits, vegetables, spices or honey, comes from the forest. Only 30% is from modern farming methods. The community's dependence on the forest, therefore, underlines the need to make sure the forest continues to be sustainable. The one undeniable benefit of a healthy forest is the water we gain from it, and Old Jalukie is no exception. This area is the water catchment of 5 major rivers, namely the Mungleo, Techao, Muberio, Keleirio and Nakwaru. Although the population has been rising, there is enough water here to meet everyone's needs.
전단에 기행자요 아무리 미동게 조들은 맞자면은 이렇게 징도 비루이바 나 그건데 배사라도 이루이바 지금 나는 저요 기니바 근데 아무리나 저요 보게 지포세 그 주제 가이 가지면서요 아니 나메 나 아니 잠좀 저요 보게 미강메
2015, they had also tried to rescue a mountain goat, that is red sparrow. The red sparrow was injured by bullet by hunters, and it was in a very critical condition. So the villagers they approached the forest department, and the forest department, along with in collaboration with the villagers, they brought the red sparrow to animal dispensary in Jalukie town.
Although the goat could not be saved, the effort in trying to save it is an indication of the community's commitment to conservation.
The people have now transformed themselves. They have changed their mind, and previously they used to be hunters, but now they have become the responsible guardian.
Rồi nó chú rồi tay có mà con nó kỳ kỳ thế này chứ, nó kita trong bằng có thế này, kita trong đấy bằng có mà con nó rồi tay cái kỳ thế này chứ.
언니 대화제 계속 기대 나야 좀 내가 뭐 내좀 너 올롬밤 소리 부르가 남의 동네다 가정도 부르 때한 거라는데 남의 동네를 이제 싶었네 막 지금 나오고 온데 그래서 분이나 대공에 주셨네.
The success of Old Jalukie in revitalizing the forest and protecting their water catchment area just goes to show that with commitment, even historic practices that are dangerous to our environment can be stopped. With the revitalization of the forest and water reserves, an entire community's future is secured.